Hi everyone. Hopefully you can hear me because the music got a little bit louder right before I went live. It's been kind of a rough day. I think a lot of people are feeling it. Just a lot to take on. Our country is dying. The Christian faith seems to be dying, at least in so many people that are all around us. Our freedom is dying. Not enough people are fighting the good fight, but somehow the volume just got quieter. That's weird. Maybe the person that's controlling that is watching my Facebook Live. So, I don't really feel it in me to do a Facebook Live right now, but I think that's the reason why I need to. As all of you who are tuning in know, or at least most of you know, I've been fighting the good fight since the first week of April. I've been fighting against these unconstitutional executive orders since day one. And we've lost a lot in this. There's family members that I haven't seen since Christmas. I'd like to think it's not because of my stance on these issues with the executive orders, but let's be real, politics and opinions like this, they cut deeper than a lot of people want to acknowledge or realize. I haven't been able to go back to my church. It was not open until, I want to say, the first weekend in June, which is shameful and definitely not what God commands us to do. But even since they've been open, they've done such ridiculous measures that not only would I not be welcome, but how could we possibly learn what the Christian faith is supposed to be about and what we're supposed to be doing as Christians when we're not following what God wants for us? So the thing is, I am trying my hardest to fight for all of you, and I'm so glad Facebook wants to pop up notifications on top of my video right now. It's hard. The days are long. I never take a day off. I hardly take 2 hours off at a time. Even if we go for a walk, we are strategizing on how to get out and market the petition so people know about it, and how to clarify some messaging that's gone out that may have been confusing, or how to help team members who have struggles in some way find their way through that and get redirected, or how do we handle the newest Court of Appeals decision or the newest executive order. And it's exhausting. I think what gets me the most in all of this is that because I work so hard at all these things and in all these places, and it's every day, all day long, and I apologize guys, I haven't brushed my hair all day, and I'm sure I look like a disaster. I'm sure there will be haters on here commenting how I don't look very professional right now. So, sorry. But the most exhausting thing is to know that when I'm giving okay, there's like an animal that's going to attack us, so sorry. It's slightly distracting. Anyway, the hardest thing is to know that I am giving up so many things to be able to do this fight every day, and when I finally allow myself to go out to get a pizza from our favorite pizza place, or get frozen yogurt from my favorite frozen yogurt place, or heaven forbid I try to get some groceries at Costco or Sam's or something. It's never easy. I get looked at like, how dare you walk in this facility without a mask? The moment I get out of my car, I'm getting stares, and I'm getting the look, and I'm getting comments, and there's always somebody saying something under their breath. And today at my favorite pizza place, I actually got yelled at, embarrassed about the exemptions. I had someone argue with me about Executive Order 2020-59, which I kindly tried to tell him he is a little behind on the time, since our governor is now on Executive Order 2020-172. But that didn't seem to be good enough. He kept coming back for more, and to the point of having to tell me that I needed my medical exemption ID, as though this is some sort of Nazi Germany scenario where I have to have my little proof that I can exist. That's embarrassing. First of all, Section 6 of that order is the exemption for all of us. That's that paragraph that talks about how the executive order cannot be construed to violate your constitutionally protected rights. So rely on that one. But it's really embarrassing to have to get to the point of trying to explain that, well, I have an exemption because I'm medically exempt, and I have a doctor's note. I actually have a doctor's note, which I'm embarrassed, quite frankly, that I went to get a doctor's note, because I know so many of you are not able to do so. And how can I benefit from utilizing that as a resource when so many of you don't have that option? But it was even more embarrassing then to try to go down the road of how my family doesn't have separate medical exemptions. No, that's because I have additional disabilities that the executive order actually acknowledges are reasons for not wearing executive orders. That's exactly what it's like. For not wearing masks. And I get sick and tired, literally, physically, mentally, emotionally tired of having to parade around that I not only have one physical disability, but I have at least two. And that people expect me to have to carry around some sort of identification for how disabled and broken I am. And if that weren't bad enough, if I wasn't told, no, now you gotta listen here. You're allowed to finish ordering this pizza, but yeah, next time, no, we're requiring everyone to have to follow this rule. If that wasn't bad enough, then I had to stand there trying not to have tears fall down my face to finish ordering which toppings I wanted on my pizza, which I have otherwise enjoyed every other time I've been here. And then if that weren't bad enough, while I'm sitting there trying not to cry in public because, you know, I'm already embarrassed enough, then I see a new person comes out from the back and stands at the ordering computer and is staring me down like I'm a criminal. It's, you know, like 6 months ago where people went into a building with a mask on, they would have that look. Yeah, I got that look for not wearing a mask. So why am I telling you this? Because obviously many, many, many of you know that this happens, and you feel it, and you experience it, and you see it. I'm telling you because I'm not immune. I'm exhausted. I'm getting depressed about it. It's taking a toll on me. I can't even enjoy the literally 2 or 3 things I enjoy to do, and when I finally allow myself to leave my house, other than for a presentation or a court hearing or a speech at the Capitol or something. I can't even have those things. I feel like having to go and having one of my favorite frozen yogurts, but guess what? They don't actually harass me anymore, which is great. I think the owner talked to them, and it's been beneficial that way. But the attitude of all but 2 or 3 of them now is like, I walk in and they literally get nasty and cold. One woman refuses to even speak to us, does not even look us in the eye. Oh, she knows who we are. I'm the woman that had the Facebook Live video of trying to get frozen yogurt and explaining why you can't discriminate against individuals with disabilities, and trying to educate her on how you can ask things if you feel you must comply with the executive order, which is not a law, but in a way that's not so attacking, and in a way that people aren't going to feel so defensive and beaten down and like they're criminals. So, yeah, it was better for a little while, and now it's worse. Ironically, one of the individuals that works there that was kind of the most obtuse, I guess you could say, about my disability has actually been one of the kindest after that point, but the others who had been kind are not kind anymore. Why have kindness these days, right? Especially to those who are trying to fight for what they believe is right. I mean, clearly, I'm always the one that's out yelling and screaming and swearing at people, right? And calling them names? No. No, I don't believe anybody should be calling people names or yelling and screaming and swearing at them. I think we should have common decency and common courtesy. But tonight, this video that I really don't feel like I even have it in me to finish each sentence. Each sentence has been a struggle right now. But I'm doing it because I need you to know I'm not done fighting. I'm exhausted, and I'm sad, and I'm overwhelmed. And we need more volunteers to help us. You helping us with the petitions will free me up to do more of the legal work. If you guys only knew how much of the petition work that I personally am handling, I guarantee you it's 300 times as much work as Garrett or Ron are doing on the Stand Up Michigan one. Not that they're not doing work, don't get me wrong. That's not a dig on them. But we are truly a grassroots organization. And we have a team of people, we have individuals that are working just as hard as I am, and they're tired and they're exhausted. And at the end of the day, I don't know, I almost feel like I'm even more exhausted simply because I know if they need to walk away, if they need to take a break, they can, but I can't, because this is my calling. I will keep fighting for you. It is my duty to do that. God gave me talents and gifts and abilities and a passion for serving others that I cannot just turn off. So do not give up. Apparently I really ticked some people off with my last comment because we had a whole bunch of people drop off the video. I guess honesty sucks. But don't give up in what you're doing. I'm not going to give up for you, so I need you to not give up on you. It's going to be a team effort, whether it feels like that or not. But literally, every single time you are fighting, every single time that you are standing your ground and not being obnoxious about it, but standing your ground and trying to educate people on what the law is or what the Constitution says or even what the executive orders say, and you're doing so with as much patience and kindness as you could possibly muster, you're doing the right thing and you're paving the way and you're planting that seed. Don't be that one that's just obnoxiously yelling about the executive orders or, screaming and swearing at someone about how they're, unconstitutional. That's not going to plant a seed. If anything, that's going to plant the seed with them that anyone fighting against wearing a mask is a violent, obnoxious, horrible person. Don't let that be the message that they get from you standing your ground. Let them see what truth in love looks like. Let them see what kindness despite adversity looks like. Let them see how you can educate others, even if you're not an attorney. And if you want to tell them, you know what, I know I'm not an attorney. If they try to throw that card at you, then say, you know what, Katherine Henry is. And she's putting her entire career behind these statements. She's putting her entire career behind the concept that we are free. God gave us rights that our government cannot take away. And we will not be stomped. We will not be buried by all this government crap. We will not be beaten down. So I am exhausted. I am sad. I am overwhelmed. But if I'm not quitting, I need you to not quit. I need you to keep going where you are welcome to go. I need you to kindly educate people every chance you get. I need you to pray for those that you think might be lost. But I need you to not give up. And even if you feel alone, if we've at all ever talked about the struggles that you're going through, especially the COVID-related struggles, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm not great with names. I might not remember your name. But I remember every story from every one of you that has emailed me or called me or texted me. I know your stories. You're not alone. And I'm so sorry that you do feel alone. But I am with you. Our team is behind you. And there are thousands, if not millions of people that are fighting for you. So hang in there. And even in the dark days, even when you feel discouraged, I need you to keep going. And be as positive and uplifting as you could possibly be and drag yourself through that day. Because tomorrow will be another day. And I have a bunch of people sending me text messages right now about my earlier video. So I'm sorry about that. But I do want you to hear from someone that I think you have probably never heard from in a Facebook Live video. Maybe a quick hello. But I would like you to hear from him now and see his perspective on it. And hopefully I don't have to kick him under the table during the time that he's talking. Nice smile, babe.
All right, I'll give this a whirl. To see how my meandering stream of beaver dammed up consciousness works. So after this has all happened, I think she won in this case. After this all happened, there was a note put up on the door, and we couldn't read it from where we were sitting. I have a feeling that this kid that was hassling us, I'm not sure, we're not really sure if he was hassling us. It sure sounded like hassling. He was basically telling us that we could get our pizzas, and then he didn't really finish the sentence, but the implication was, don't come back. At least that's what it sounded like. I have a feeling he is basically doing what he's told. He listens to the mainstream lying global communist media, I'm sure, that says that masks are the law in Michigan now. And that seemed to be all he knew. He tried to say that there was nothing about exemptions from Executive Order 59, I think is what he was saying, which everybody watching this I know knows that 59 is not the current executive order by any means. We found it was 153 was the still standing current mask executive order. We showed him the exemptions in there, and so I'm not really sure if he was hassling us or if he was genuinely trying to find the information. It was probably a little bit of both. But we showed him 153. He read it, and then he put a sign up on the door that, you know, this is after we sat down and we're eating our pizza. He did look it up, and I don't know how he would have typed this whole thing up so quick, but this is what he put up on the door. I'm going to show you if I can get it to a little bit bigger here. Well, I might have to just read it. Oh, and it's backwards.
Don't read the whole thing.
It's basically the official mask regulation from Executive Order 2020-153, and it goes through all of the exemptions that are in that order. The second one is cannot medically tolerate a face covering, which he was trying to say that we needed a card to prove that we have a medical exemption. Well, he looked it up, so we might have taught him something today. I would like to look at it that way, that maybe he learned something that he wasn't getting from whatever other sources he was looking at. So I think we won this one. We come here quite often, so we'll be back later this week and we'll see if the sign is still up.
Let's see if there's any questions. Are you done?
Yeah.
That's all you're gonna say? Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna see if anybody has any. Oh my gosh, holy cow, there's like hundreds. Oh boy. Hey, my core team, if you if there's any particular comments or questions that I should be addressing right now, can you text that to Mike's phone right now? And I will be glad to try to answer or address anything. Are you the lawyer who participated in the Lowell Riverwalk Festival a few years ago? You had an office in Belding. Yes, I am. That is me. I've always been out there trying to talk with people and make sure the law was accessible to people. Let's see. So team, Mike, can you watch your phone in case they do text you? Team, please do. David Michelson! Wow, that's awesome to see a friend from high school. I mean, clearly I just graduated a couple years ago. Not that I have kids in college or anything, but oh my gosh. You know what? I came on here thinking I was here for you guys tonight, but I needed to see some of the comments that you guys had. I really appreciate it. I really do. That is true, Lori. None of us are getting paid with cash. My family, in large part, is living off of donations right now. And, yeah. Sometimes that's been hard because the Restore Freedom, in a large respect, has gotten very little donations throughout this last month. And the business, likewise, to do the legal work. And of course, that's where I pay for all the court filing fees and the reams and reams of paper to print off all the briefs. And at some point, I would like to buy an actual, well, not 5-year-old version of the Michigan court rules for federal court and state court. I'm going off of a 2015 version, and granted, I can look them all up online and print them and whatnot, but it's it'd be nice to be able to serve the people in a much more efficient way. So, at any rate, are we close to having enough signatures? You know, I haven't had enough volunteers for the last month and a half to be there to count them all. I can tell you we have enough that it takes days and days and days of people excellent with counting and numbers and spreadsheets to be able to count them. I also can tell you that tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We are going to do a emergency Zoom meeting for Wayne County circulators and basically anyone who has circulated in Wayne County. I don't know if these are Wayne County circulators that have been circulating these petitions or if it's people from other counties that have come over to help with Wayne County events. But if you have circulated a petition in Wayne County, I'm asking you, if you can, in any way, shape, or form, make it to a Zoom meeting tomorrow morning at 10. That would be great. And reach out to our captain coordinator for the code. She probably sent it to me, and I just invited her phone to get all lit up tonight. But we want to make sure that we can invite you to this to make sure, the reason why, I guess I should say, is because Wayne County is having some serious signature issues, and we want to make sure that every single one of those signatures that we turn in is validated and correct. And we don't have paid circulators, and we don't have paid validators. We don't have paid anybody, quite frankly. Every single person is volunteer here. So we would love to have more of our volunteers be able to be available for those kinds of things. We could definitely use that help. Let's see. If the Liz I'm seeing on here is the same Liz from the, what would it be, Van Buren County? That I met in Kalamazoo that day, that has been helping with the gun shop hours. I really appreciated meeting you, and sorry, I started reading the next comment. I hope that you've seen that we have some new ways of trying to get some more circulators out there, and I want to thank you for stepping outside of your comfort zone to be persistent and follow up with the owners there to make sure that they would allow you to be there, setting up and getting signatures, especially when they wanted to read the entire amendment, start to finish, word for word, both the two sons and the father. And it was a pleasure to be able to meet the two sons myself. I did not get to meet the father, but I really appreciate the hard work and courage it took for you to be able to do that. And to all of you, I think it was Teresa Bowser, if I'm saying her name correctly, who went to, I want to say Mecosta County GOP, and spoke up during comment time, essentially like a public comment time, and shared the word about the Restore Freedom Initiative constitutional amendment. I cannot imagine what courage that must take. And I appreciate that. I appreciate those of you who are calling radio stations to try to get me on there. And all the way up in the UP, my hometown area of Houghton Hancock, all the way down to the Detroit area and Lansing and Ann Arbor and, you know, everywhere in between. I really, truly appreciate the efforts you guys are making. So do make sure that when we are feeling down, when you are feeling like you just can't take it anymore and you want to not go in public anymore, or you want to not go to your favorite stores, or it's hard for you to hang out with certain family or friends, when you feel alone, please know that you're not alone. First of all, God is always with you. But secondly, we have not forgotten about you, and regardless of how many tens of thousands of people I have now encountered, sorry, it doesn't help when my team's texting me about my video feed while I'm trying to finish my video feed. But regardless of the tens of thousands of people who have contacted me, it may be even more than that, I honestly don't know anymore, I do remember your stories. Your stories are important. Your pain is real. The things you are going through are real. And I am doing everything I absolutely can to be able to fight for you. And no matter what happens in court on September 9th with the Michigan Supreme Court, it doesn't matter what happens there, I am not done fighting for you. I will not give up. These rights were given to us by God. The founders of our country fought and died for the freedoms that they protected in our Constitution. And they're protected in our state constitution. And we have allowed our government officials to go so far astray. But now is the time to do something. Now is the time to rise up and work together and fight. And so you, as one individual person, you are not alone, and your efforts are not meaningless. Your efforts are very valuable. And you are noticed, and your pain is real, and you are not forgotten. And whether I have to do this until my dying day or not, we will work to restore freedom here in Michigan and in the U.S. So do not think for a second that you are in this alone, or that we will abandon you, or that I will abandon you. Our team has sacrificed a lot to be able to continue fighting for you every day, even in ways that I'm sure many of you cannot even see. But this team is not just me. I can't possibly do all this work by myself. I'm pretty cool, but I'm not that cool. So, hang in there. I know that it's tough, but don't give up. Thank you so much, guys, for all your support. And if you have any questions on any of the government documents, on any of the updates with court stuff, on ways that you can donate, ways that you can get involved. You haven't really heard of the Restore Freedom Initiative petition and got it confused with the 1945 repeal, and you want to find out more information about ours. All of that can be found on restorefreedomkh.com, restorefreedom, K as in Katherine, H as in Henry.com. And don't forget that we are here for you, and we are here for our freedom, and we are not going anywhere. Thanks so much, guys. Any questions that came in? Mike? Nothing? All right. Thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful night.